Hamstring walkout. So most people are unaware that their hamstring muscle is a two-joint muscle. When I say that, what I mean is my hamstring crosses my hip, crosses my knee. Most of us are way stronger where the hamstring is crossing the hip compared to the hamstring that crosses the knee. So this drill is designed for us to be able to kind of go after the hamstring down around the knee. It's important that you're aware of that because my low back and my hip positioning can influence my hamstring just due to the anatomy and the biomechanics associated with the said anatomy. So if I go to the floor here, what I'm focusing on is setting my spine and hip in a good position from the floor, bridging up, and then trying to only move through the knee to train the hamstring down at that knee joint. So if I'm on my back, I push my low back into the ground so my spine is in neutral, head is on the ground. I'm gonna bridge up to where my knee and my shoulder are almost in a straight line. For me, if I get any higher, I start arching my low back, so I'm cheating through my back. So I think it's helpful to go to the ground so you can feel your low back touch the ground, hips come up. Now from here, I'm going to literally walk my feet out as far as I can, and then I'm gonna walk them back up, hence the name hamstring walkout. And this is where we see the other compensation happen. So one of your calf muscles can also bend your knee, and especially in relation to having weakness in the hamstring that's down by the knee. So what we'll see is people will bridge up and they'll pull their toes off the ground, and then they'll walk out and they'll keep their toes pulled toward them, and they won't feel it nearly as much in their hamstring versus if you think about pointing your toes or keeping your foot flat as far as you can as you start to walk out. And then as I get out there, I'm actively thinking about pointing my toes away from me and then walking them back up. But this is where it gets tricky, is the second I keep my foot flat and I point my toe and I start walking out, when I get out close to being all the way straight, a lot of people will have a hard time keeping that tension in their low back and their abs, and they'll immediately feel their pelvis round forward and they'll feel a bunch of pressure build in their low back. So when you're doing the hamstring walkout, you're only walking yourself out as far as you can while keeping all the load or tension into that hamstring group to where you should not feel it in your back at all. If you start to feel it in your low back, you're going a little bit too far. Scale back out of that and stay within that range and only progress the distance as you're able to without compensations.